for some reason this is the first video you're ever seeing of mine, I'm T, and I am back from my Christmas vacation, which has me more than slightly depressed. We had such a great time in New Orleans. It's definitely just one of my favorite cities to visit. Generally speaking, I'm kind of an introvert, antisocial kind of person. I'm very much a homebody, so whenever I go on vacation, even if I'm having a good time, somewhere around day 3 or 4, I'm like, I'm kind of ready to sleep in my own bed and be in my own home again. But with New Orleans, this is my second time going. I've just never felt that way. I love it there. I have such a great time, and I actually get very bummed out when it's time to go back home. But as you can see, I'm back home. And 2015 is almost over, so I knew I needed to come on today and tell you guys about the next fitness challenge that I will be doing. And because it's going to be starting in just a couple days, so I really need to get this video up. Those of you who were with me on my 12 Days of Fitness challenge / my overall December holiday challenge, thank you so much for doing that with me. Knowing that there were other people out there working out with me and trying to keep it as clean as possible until it was actually Christmas really made a difference and kept me honest. I have been enjoying my break from eating super clean all the time. I have been enjoying some drinks and some more drinks and some cookies, but I have to say I'm ready for the break to be over. Even though I in advance gave myself permission to do this and have a deadline and all that, I'm looking forward to getting back on track and getting clean again because quite frankly, I'm sick of the stomach aches. When you don't eat a lot of crap and you go back to eating crap, your body will be like, no. So I'm gonna have a couple more days of my food vacation, but then it's time to get right back on track, and that's gonna start on January 2nd, the day after National Hangover Day. Since I'm fairly certain I'm going to be hungover on January 1st, I'm going to take it easy that day, probably stay home, get a lot of rest, I think, and then I'll be ready to attack on January 2nd. So this fitness challenge is going to run from Saturday, January 2nd to Friday, January 29th. It is a 28-day long challenge, and the goal here is to up your game. This challenge is going to end just a couple days before my next birthday, so it's kind of perfect for me to make sure that I'm looking snatched and fit and ready to destroy all the progress I did once I do have my birthday. Totally kidding. I'm not going to completely destroy all my progress when it is my birthday, but I do know that I'm probably gonna have a nice dinner and not worry about if there's any wheat or whatever in it, and I'm probably gonna have a slice of cake. So up until that point, here is what the fitness challenge is as I'm defining it for myself. Depending on your fitness level, you will have to decide what is appropriate for you and your fitness level. Since it's a 28-day long challenge, the challenge for me is going to be 28 and 28, meaning 28 workouts in 28 days. I basically am expanding upon the idea of my 12 days of fitness because the core challenge of 12 days of fitness is 12 workouts in 12 days, meaning you can work out once a day every day for those 12 days, or you can do doubles in there and then have active rest on the days where you wouldn't necessarily need to do a workout. That's how I did 12 days of fitness this year. That's how I did it last year, and it worked out great. As a matter of fact, for 12 days of fitness, I got in more than 12 workouts in 12 days, so I was very, very happy about that. So for the 28 and 28, I'm going to approach it as having days where I'm doing 2-a-days and having some days where I'm doing active rest, but there will be no days where I'm doing fuck all. There will be some kind of activity, even if it's just a walk, a little 5-minute workout, something like that. I've got to get my blood moving every single day for those 28 days. Additionally, eating super duper clean. I already eat pretty well most of the time, so I want to make sure I stick with that, and I'm actually thinking I might get my metabolic rate tested, my resting metabolic rate, because I have been plateaued for quite some time and I want to figure out if I'm eating too much or not enough. I'm actually thinking it's not enough because when I think about what I eat in a normal day, and I even did a video on that where I showed you guys, you can watch that right here in case you missed it, I'm eating pretty freaking well. So I'm thinking that perhaps the reason my weight loss has been plateaued was one, doing the same types of workouts and roughly working out for the same amount of time, and also just not maybe getting enough food, not getting enough calories, because I'm not eating calorie dense food except for the bacon. Not eating enough calories can also sabotage your weight loss just as much as eating too many, and I think because of the way I'm eating, it's probably the not eating enough. So I'm going to get my base metabolic rate tested, I think, as long as it's not too crazy expensive, and figure out what kind of meals I need to be eating and making sure that I'm getting enough calories to jumpstart my weight loss again. I don't think it's a matter of changing what I eat, I think it's a matter of changing the amounts that I eat. The long-term goal for 2016 is to not only break my weight loss plateau, but to actually get to my final goal within the year. I want to lose 20 pounds, and I think I can do that within the course of a year, considering I lost more than that in half a year in 2014. So 2015 has been a bit of a wash, but it has been good for me to just sort of become content with the size that I am and get more fitness. Like I'm definitely more fit than I was. I just haven't actually lost pounds. I think I've gotten stronger and maybe a little bit leaner. Maybe my composition has changed a little bit. Maybe my body fat has gone down a little bit and I've gained a little bit of muscle, but for the most part, my weight has stayed the same and it's time to bring an end to that. As I did with my December fitness challenge, I'm thinking I'll have more details on my blog of what I'm doing specifically, but what's more important is what you're doing if you're joining me on this. Think about where you are in your fitness level and what's an appropriate way to up your game. If you're starting from zero, I would say a great place for you to start for this 4-week challenge to say, I'm going to work out 3 times a week, no excuses, for every single week of these 4 weeks. And as I always say, diet is actually more important than exercise. Exercise is important, but diet is what really makes the difference. I don't really believe in saying everyone should eat a certain way. I don't believe that everyone should be raw vegan. I don't believe that everyone should be, paleo or whatever. I don't believe anyone should necessarily eat the way I eat, but I eat this way because it works for me. I've done a considerable amount of research on things like dairy, grains, soy, and sugar, and I have plenty of reasons for not eating them that make sense to me, and I just feel better. As evidenced by me eating all those kinds of things during my little vacation here and having stomach aches almost every single day. One more thing I wanted to add to the challenge is if there's any sort of physical challenge that you want to add for your own, set of goals for this fitness challenge, I say go for it. I was talking with a couple of you guys in the comments, and I, for one, would love to be able to do pistol squats. Now, I've been wanting to do pistols for probably 3 years and I still can't do one, but I think I'm going to actually formulate a strategy to have a progression where I can actually be working on them on a weekly basis regularly, and maybe I'll be able to do them by the end of the year. Maybe not, but it'll be better than saying, oh, I'd like to do that, and then just working on them sporadically and never really progressing. So if you have a similar thing, maybe you'd like to be able to do 20 push-ups on your toes instead of your knees without breaking, or maybe you would like to be able to do a pull-up or something like that. I think these are all really great things to add in on top of the general goal of working out 5 days a week for the 4 weeks or whatever it is. Be sure to let me know in the comments what you're gonna go for in our 28-day challenge. For me, as I said, it's a 28 and 28, as well as getting back on track, eating clean. I'm going to do the same exact thing at the start of this challenge that I did at the start of the December holiday challenge, and start off with a 3-day cleanse where I'm just doing juice and hard-boiled eggs for protein, because it'll really just help me kind of reset my system, get rid of this bloatation situation, and be really primed and ready to attack this challenge. Let me know what you're going to be doing diet-wise, if you're going to be cutting any specific thing or things out of your diet, if you're going to be adding more things in, more vegetables and water. And also let me know what your workout plan is going to be, if you're going to maybe go for the 28 and 28 with me, if you're going to be starting somewhere a little bit more manageable and more approachable for someone at a more beginner level, maybe 3 or 4 days a week, that kind of thing. And also, what workouts are you going to be doing? I'll be talking more about what I'm going to be doing on my blog, but for the most part, it's going to be similar to my usual style of metabolic conditioning, but I'm going to have to shake things up because I'm trying to break a weight loss plateau. So it's going to be some experimentation. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, check the blog. All right, so since my last video, I've gotten quite a lot of new subscribers. So hello, in the event you're one of the new people watching this video, and welcome. I appreciate you, and I'm excited. So 2016 is gonna be dope, y'all. It's gonna be dope. I'll see you guys next time.
That's a nappy-headed hose there, I'm gonna tell you that now.